top Chevy with the roof wide open. My partner's looking at me to see if my eyes open. Cause I've been drinking and I've been smoking and flying down 285, but I'm focused. 454 SS, I race potions. White leather seats as fresh as Alpha. I say I'm doing about 100, but the track still bumping. Number 8 on NWA, straight out of Compton. Pull up in your apartment, sitting on 20-somethings and the dope boys. Hollywood's had the kid running in, the click start dancing and the broad start choosing. And the cars been parked, but the rims will keep moving. Sign, buy onion, the good, and throw the deuces. I ain't Hollywood, I come from the hood, I'm used to it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 77 of the Splashcast, the ATL edition. I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. We're going to get through this peacefully.
Peacefully? Well, y'all know how it is, man. We come with the ATL edition of the episodes. We come with our Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Braves, and Atlanta Falcons news. It is football season. The Falcons are in first place in the division going into today. We've been screaming, we told y'all so. We told y'all disrespected us. We told y'all we not the worst team in the league. We told y'all.
And been right.
And then we were right. And then right after we did all that yelling, the Falcons came and played like one of the worst teams in the league today. Not only, and I
ain't gonna say that.
No, they played pretty bad. Dang, Derrick Henry going crazy.
What you gonna do with that? Pray.
So the Falcons played who did they play? And you put the
Chargers.
You got the Panthers highlights in there. The Falcons played the Chargers today. The Chargers are literally missing their entire wide receiving core. The entire wide receiving core. And everybody it's still only a 2.5 point game, a 2.5 point line on the game because the Falcons are missing their entire DB, all of the DBs. I got it. The Falcons are missing their entire DB core. AJ Terrell isn't playing, hamstring. Casey Hayward is out, shoulder. The other two guys, I can't remember their name. One dude with the dreads, he hurt his ankle. There's been so many people that were hurt. Because so many of the people were hurt, it was literally practice. I said, you didn't hear me say I got it. It's practice squad versus practice squad.
I mean, they still got Justin Herbert. That's their guy. That's what you pay him for. That's the reason you draft him where you do. So when players go out or you have to make those type of adjustments, he's there. So I mean, and for all intents and purposes, Mariota is our quarterback until proven otherwise.
Well, otherwise was today. But so let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna try to play the highlights while we talk about it. Let's get right into it. So the Falcons actually started off really, really well. Probably the best start that we've had all season. We got Cordero Patterson back. First play of the game. Out route to him. I was really, really excited to see how we use Cordero Patterson coming back. And we use him in the ways that I was really excited about. Algier, however y'all want to pronounce his name, is the real deal. Algier is the real deal.
But they're all the real deal. Because Caleb Huntley is the real deal. CP is the real deal. We have a real deal running back room. Let's just say that.
We have a real deal running back room. We have a pretty good offensive line. And one thing that the Chargers are good at is rushing the passer. One thing that they are bad at is having a good start on defense and stopping the run. They're not a team built to stop the run. Titans gonna mess around and beat the Chiefs. As a result, and we're the number one running team, I think number 2 running team in the league behind Baltimore because of Lamar. I'm sorry, behind the Bears with their triple option offense. And we looked like we were about to. Yeah, they did. We looked like we were about to run away with this game. These were the first 2 plays of the game. This was the first drive.
Boots early. We came out looking like We was looking like I was just gonna have to be okay with Mariota being our starting quarterback.
Man, and I don't know what happened. Now there were a few sneaky. What's good, sneak? Malik Willis time. Look at that. Now I was nervous about that. We kept trying to make Mariota throw the ball at the goal line, and I didn't. I wasn't too happy about that because they have not proven to stop us. We ran the ball twice, and then Cordero got in there, and we started off 7-0. I want to say 10-0.
I was concerned on how healthy he was going to be starting out, but he looks like he is ready to play football.
Well, he is healthy. He is ready to play, but they definitely had him on the pitch count, though, because they didn't play him as much.
It does help when you got a few guys, too.
So we held the Chargers to a 3-and-out, got the ball back, and look what happens again. We just run the ball down the field. And I was like, okay, we got to eventually throw the ball, but I didn't really want to throw the ball because they could not stop the run. They could not stop the run. And Mariota was doing a lot of this stuff.
Look at that time.
We had a lot of time. And I'm pretty sure that there could be a quarterback that, if he were good at throwing the ball down the field, probably would have hit a receiver with all that time in the pocket. But Mariota looks like he does not have any confidence. What were your likes on offense?
I like the confidence we started the game in. We came out looking like a team ready to beat a team that people, believed in. That's not really us right now, especially with our roster. I mean, the Chargers still should have been ready to beat us, and we had control of the game for the majority of the game.
Well, not really a majority, but we did have control of the game back and forth. But we kept getting behind the sticks on second down with Arthur Smith trying to call like random shot plays. And then all of a sudden, the Chargers got going. And once the Chargers got going, the same things that plagued the Falcons, plagued the Falcons. We could not get off the field in third down in the second quarter. That's enough highlights. My offensive likes, I really like the way the offensive line played. And as mad as I was at the defense, we really only allowed 20 points. We allowed 20 points, and 3 of them, I think, came on after a fumble, or 7 of them came after a fumble. So I can't get mad at the defense, but I really like that.
That's the other part.
I really like how the offensive line played, and when Hennessy got hurt, Matt Hennessy got hurt, our run game stopped until the fourth quarter. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
Well, like the defensive back situations are already thin. So as the game goes on, they get tired. I said I think the same thing last week. It's just going to kind of fade a little bit. It's going to be as good as it can be, and then it's just going to hope that it holds together to get us through to the end of the game. I think that's going to be kind of our plot for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so my offensive dislikes. We only have one offensive dislike, man. We know what the dislike is. Marcus Mariota can no longer play quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons anymore. Discount Debo, I like that. Anymore. Marcus Mariota missed 3 touchdown passes today. 2 of them to Kyle Pitts. Missed 3, 1 of them to Drake London. Drake London had a rookie moment today. I got a lot of dislikes. Not holding on to the football.
That was disappointing.
Khalil Mack just literally stole the ball from you. And all you had to do, even on the play, he had a first down. Let me see if I can find that play. He had a first down. He had a first down, and there was nothing they could do to stop us. I passed it. Anyway, there was nothing that they could do. At that point, there was nothing that the Chargers could do. We were clicking on all cylinders, and it was the short passing game and running the ball. And once that happened, that was deflating. Defensively, I'm going to get mine off because I was disappointed in the defense so much today. And it's like, well, they only allowed 20 points. Yeah. And they got a turnover. Yeah. And they forced a fumble. Yeah. But that was the defense of like holding on though. Like they did all of that and that just kind of delayed the inevitable. Like for some reason, and it's not for some reason. I understand that the Falcons have no DBs. I understand it. We have none.
Exactly.
In today's football, no matter what y'all say about sports and how the good old days in basketball and football is all that, the games evolve. The games have evolved. And now football is so detailed in the pass game. Once they find a chink in the armor, if you do not fix that chink, it is game over. And the thing that I learned today was it is a lot harder to be called up from practice squad to play defense than it is to play offense.
Yeah, because somebody can mostly tell you exactly what to do.
Because 22 Anderson, they figured out that you couldn't guard Josh Palmer, and they went to him every play. Every single play. They went to Josh Palmer or the tight end. That's all they did. Nothing else.
And that's the part of the job that sucks. Receiver, I only got to do this right, maybe 4 or 5 times, and I've had a pretty solid night here. You as a defensive back, you get beat 3 or 4 times in a game, you're toast. You played terrible the whole game.
You did play terrible the whole 22 played terrible the whole game.
But we got our offense. I mean, Mariota here, another 129 yards. You got to get more out of your quarterback than 129 passing yards. I think it's top for the season.
Mariota should have had 250 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. But he cannot hit the open pass to save his life. His life.
The 250 is minimum. The 250 is the Dak minimum. That's the joke that we make. That you Daking it at 250.
I also want to call out the effort. I want to call out the effort too. If y'all look at this play, this is Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield. He's going to come here. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to make an amazing acrobatic play, right? We don't know if he's down at this point. You don't know if he's down because he's going to keep going, right? Oh, he's still up. What are you doing, number 34?
Shit. Damn. He's gone.
Can y'all tell me? Because I tweeted about it immediately. Darren Hall. This is the shit that I hope you stay on. I hope Dean Pease has an understanding heart. And I hope he keeps you on the team so that you can provide for your family. But this shit right here is what gets you cut. What is that? And then he turns around. What is that? No. Go back. We gonna look at that again.
Not gonna look good on tape, my friend. That
what?
One there is bad.
What is this? What are you? What is?
My bad. Damn.
What's the first thing they tell you when you play football? Little League football. Play through the damn whistle. That's the first thing they tell you in Little League. Go until the whistle is done. It don't matter if you mess up at 100 miles an hour. That's what all coaches say at all levels. It don't matter if you mess up at 100 miles an hour as long as you playing through the whistle. Because if you play through the whistle, good things will happen. That was a perfect example of Austin Eckler playing through the whistle for the Chargers and Darren Hall not playing through the whistle for the Chargers. And if it wasn't for Austin Eckler being 5'9" and not 5'9.5", and his elbow scraping the ground, that would have been a touchdown. Saved us. Only for them to score again anyway.
Can't win for losing.
I'll also say this. I was extremely disappointed in the coaching. Extremely disappointed, especially down the stretch. Dean Pease, I understand that I said our DBs weren't that good, but dog, if they killing you on zone the whole game, you got to come out of zone somewhere. Got to do it. And I told y'all, and y'all killed me in the comments. Y'all trick bagged me, and y'all said all of these things about me. When I said we should not have drafted AK-47 in the second round, I said you could have gotten. You could have. I didn't say he wasn't a good player. I'm not saying we shouldn't have drafted him, but we should not have traded up to draft AK-47 because you know who would have looked good opposite of Drake London. Even though y'all can say we can't throw the ball, he could at least catch the ball. George Pickens. He'd have been right there.
Knew
He was right there. You know who else that they drafted? Petrie in the second round.
Yeah.
Starting DB for the Texans. You could have got him. You could have gotten so many other players instead of AK-47. And I don't want y'all to think I hate AK-47 because he's a victim of bad drafting. That was just a bad. You should not have drafted him there. He makes zero impact. You're asking for him to make immediate impact, and I said it when they drafted him. There has not been the best Penn State player to come out of Penn State in the last 50 years is Micah Parsons Jr. You can't name not now other defensive player in the last 5 years to come out of Penn State that's good at the D line. No, I ain't gonna say no because you have Marvin Arrington. I know all about all them. I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
In the last 5 to 10 years, you got Yatir Gross-Maton with the Panthers. Who else? There's no D line. So why would you go draft him now? You had all those other people to draft. There were so many. He even had a 4th round grade. That's that Bill Belichick drafting. That drafting where you think you could trick everybody else after you hit on Tom Brady, but you really drafting a whole bunch of mid. Like, no, you can't do that. And it's unfair to him because it puts unfair expectations on him to be something better than he's not.
Without a doubt.
You are second pick. Second. You got to play. You got to start. And Ogundeji, hey, bro, I love your story. I love your story. You ain't it. You ain't it, bro. We have no pass rush. We have zero pass rush. Go ahead, Nord. I've been hogging the microphone the whole time.
I mean, you know what my issue is. If we can't throw the ball down the field, we can't do anything. And we might as well get to, once again, the elephant in the room. How do you feel if Marcus Mariota is the quarterback next week?
You mean Thursday? You know we play Thursday. We play Thursday. The Falcons have to go back and play a team that feels like they should have beat us the first time in Carolina.
They got their ass whooped today, though. They got whooped today.
We have to go play Carolina in Carolina. And they feel like they should have beaten us.
They think whatever they want to. They got destroyed today.
So to answer your question, how would I feel if Marcus Mariota started against the Panthers? I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd be sad. Because this is the best time to play him. The Panthers suck. I mean, they have a good pass rush, so you'll be able to get in there and understand what it's like to play against a team with a good pass rush. But they're going to give you the ball. The Panthers going to give you the ball about 3 times. This is the time to play him.
At this point, we just have to get in
Man,
there.
I do not want Baker Mayfield, dog. Yo, don't, man, shut up, Sneaky.
No, yeah, first of all, would make no sense to even discuss Baker until you get through Ritter. Ritter has to at least get a shot. You use the draft pick on him. And if he doesn't play this week coming up, that's going to say a lot to me about how they feel about him. That
Jordan
point, I'm gonna stop.
Love-esque.
You know how it's like, well, I keep asking for something and I'm not getting it. Eventually I stop asking. At that point, I'm going to stop asking. I'm going to think that they know something that he can't.
They definitely know something that we don't know. They have to know something that we don't know. They have to know something that we don't know. He must look like Justin Fields at Georgia. Like, he must not be able to read coverages or something because he's clearly the better quarterback. Just by watching Mariota, I can tell that he's the better that Ritter's the better quarterback because Mariota cannot throw the deep ball. Mariota has no accuracy.
There's nothing that you assume that anybody can't do that he's doing. Mostly. Legs-wise, he gives you a little bit, but not enough for you to think that this is what I should bank on. This ain't getting me home.
You have 3 workhorse running backs. Desmond Ridder played the exact same type of offensive styles and scheme that in college that you run now. He lined up in the pistol. Mm-hmm. They did the read option. He had tight ends. He had tall receivers. He had quick, fast receivers. No, I'm saying I'm agreeing with your point. I'm saying there's no reason that he shouldn't play, especially after watching today. After watching today, it was so discouraging. Now, against the Panthers, we already know what we just said what to watch for. What to watch for is see if Ritter's going to play. I don't really care about anything else. I will say they held Grady Jarrett in check today. Grady, I need a little bit more from you. Taquan Graham, you played a great game until the last play of the game. You played a great game up to that point.
I got another question. Who do you think starts for the Panthers?
Chuba Hubbard.
Man, I am talking about quarterback. So crazy. Because Walker lost the job. Baker came out in the second half, and they scored twice.
What was the score when they scored?
Oh, now it's 100-0 now. But for you to take him, for you to take Walker out of the game means he was playing so bad that you couldn't finish the game with him.
Well, don't forget that they took Baker out of the game and put Walker in there. So, I mean, they are literally in the Jameson Tamus.
Sam Darnold back, baby. He's like, well, it's got to be my chance now, at least, right?
Nah.
You done seen him other dude?
Sam, like, I got my $50 million. I'm about to go sit down. I'm about to go sit down.
Nah,
$36 million.
Shot somewhere.
Why? For what? Sam came to his contract signing in flip-flops, thong flip-flops, no socks, and khaki shorts. That was, I'm about to take this money and invest. He knew he was out of there.
Yeah, I'm here to steal.
White-collar crime.
Asked me to do the stealing today. Nah, I think that Scam Darnold get another shot.
He might,
I think
man.
that he gets another shot. I think that Baker gets another shot. Jacoby Brissett will be a backup. Oh, he'll be with the Browns next year. It's backup. Yeah, I feel like Jimmy G gonna get a shot too. Everybody gonna get more shots.
All that mid.
More shots.
All that mid. All that mid. And only one of them was black. All that mid. All that white mid. We can't get no black mid.
Won today.
Where's the black mid? Where's the black mid? We could get some black mid. We don't y'all all this white mid in the NFL. Y'all could get some black backup quarterbacks. You can. And as people said, as Bomani Jones said before, if you have a black starting quarterback, the smartest thing you could do is get a black backup quarterback. Because then ain't nobody gonna call for the black backup. Ain't nobody gonna call for the black backup. If nobody in the history of the NFL has ever said play the black backup ever. Name me a time. Name me a time. Who?
Malik Willis. That's the reason Tannehill said I'm not mentoring this dude.
Nobody asked for Malik Willis to start. Tannehill got hurt. Tannehill hurt his ankle. That's why he's in the game.
They was asking before. He shouldn't have been.
Man, I didn't hear nothing. I'm not from Nashville.
I
that's because you got eyes. 99% of America that watches football be watching it blind. And they will say, okay, they're not gonna call for the black backup. You cannot name one time they ever said we want insert black backup quarterback. Not one. Not one. Maybe Michael Vick? I think he started as a rookie. And he was the number one pick.
Yeah,
I don't know of any time. So if you got a black starter quarterback, Malik Willis, you know what you do if you're the Titans and you believe in Malik Willis, you trade Tannehill and you go get Tyrod Taylor or you go get a black backup, and that way Malik Willis will be able to grow and flourish forever because nobody will ask for that.
What would you trade for Tannehill?
Baker Mayfield.
Would you? I mean, that's a good question. Which one of those guys you think is better?
Push.
You can.
Everybody, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That's my issue.
Yes,
everybody thinks everybody is the same as Baker Mayfield. He gotta be better than somebody.
You said he's better than 7 other people.
Yeah.
There's your somebody.
And maybe 10. Cause he better than the dude who he replaced today.
PJ Walker. I mean, PJ Walker.
I said that though.
Talking about PJ Walker. I mean, okay. That of all the takes that you've made, that was the layupest of layups.
But people are like, nah, he's better. I'm like, come on, man. Let's use some of our common sense. Then he went out there today. Reality hit him so fast,
isn't an NFL quarterback. Baker Mayfield is a really, really good backup. He is a more athletic Chase Daniel. He is really good to play backup.
And the Colts, what they did with Sam Ellinger, that should be criminal.
Now, the Colts are stupid. If I'm the Colts, I would have went and got Baker. The Colts are stupid. The Colts are dumb.
Hey, let's talk basketball, yo.
Let's talk basketball. We've come to the end of the Falcons segment. We're sad, but they're going to beat The Panthers, I have faith that we're going to win the I-85 rivalry that Charlotte made up because we don't really respect them enough to call it a rivalry. But we played them on Thursday. I will say, and I'll finish the Falcons segment with this. We got out of that game with only one injury. That's a big deal when you have a fast turnaround.
It's a victory.
So I think we'll look okay. I was really hoping that the Panthers made some trade deadline moves other on the defense, not just the offense. I thought they would have traded away Burns and what's the dude, Derek Brown and all them other players, but they kept their whole defense. So it's gonna be a good game. With that being said, let's get ready. We'll be right back. We're going to take 30 seconds. Then we're going to go right to the Hawks. Man, the Hawks are on a little bit of a winning streak after getting just mollywopped by the Bucks and the Raptors on this road game. We ended up beating the Pistons.
Forget that happened.
And the Knicks. So we'll be right back to discuss that and the next few games coming up. Y'all stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 77 of the Splash Cast, the Hawks segment. We are now, the Falcons should be alone at the top of the division right now. Yes, Sneaky, you are right. The Rams did fail us too. But one team that did not fail us over this past week was the Hawks, man. The Hawks actually played pretty well on this road trip. I believe we had a 5-game road trip, and then we came home and played the Pelicans with the last game, the Hawks beating the Pelicans in overtime. What else we got, man? You said what?
Let's see these standings.
So,
understood. So yeah, right now, Hawks 6-3. We're in 4th place behind the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Bucks. I think that those top really 5 teams, Bucks, Cavs, Celtics, Hawks, and Raptors, we're all in about the same level.
You said the Bucks and the Hawks are in the same level right now?
Hey, Giannis got a knee injury.
Oh, because Giannis is hurt. Oh, okay. The Bucks are undefeated, brother.
Relax. But yeah, with Giannis with a knee injury, I feel like everybody else is trying to fight it out right now. Cavs are playing really good basketball, and somehow the Celtics just will not die. I just knew that once they didn't have Robert Williams, it was going to be a wrap. And nope.
It seems so. So here's the thing about the Celtics and the Falcons and the Hawks. We are discounting that the Celtics players could have gotten better. Like Jason Tatum looks like he's gotten better at 3-point shooting as they just shot 27 threes. Brown looks like he's gotten better at finishing through contact, even more so. They just gotten better. But the Hawks, the only reason I would say the Hawks have gotten better because of one person and one person only. Right now, the reason that we have gotten better is my man, your man.
Oh,
everybody.
I about to make sure you weren't gonna say nothing crazy here. I was like, all right, let me see where Reggie going with this.
Oh, I can't log into Instagram right now.
But It's DeJounte Murray, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and I'm confident in saying this. He's the best player on our team currently. Through the beginning of the season,
now he's the most complete player.
And he's went out and won us 2 full games already. At this point, I'm ready to pay him right now.
So right now we having trouble with our Instagram, so I can't really show y'all any pictures. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the last few games that we played. The Atlanta Hawks played. We went last week. We played Detroit twice. We played Milwaukee, Toronto, and New York. That was a 5-game road trip that we just finished. We ended up going 3-2. We had 2 hard-fought games against Detroit. I want to say in one of those games, DeJounte went wild crazy. But we had 2 hard-fought games against Detroit. Then we played Milwaukee. That was another hard-fought game. It just got away from us at the end. We ended up losing by 8. We got just absolutely throttled by Toronto. We allowed 139 points. That was the second
and
of
managed to score 109 ourselves.
I believe that was the second of a back-to-back for us on the road, which is really, really difficult to play. And you could tell that we just had no energy when it came to that game. And then finally, to round it off, you knew that we were waiting to play the Knicks. We're not going to talk about the other 4 games just because I want to talk about the Knicks. The Knicks game was supposed to be billed as one of the better games of the weekend, which it turned out to be.
It was something. No, it was one of the better games.
It was one of the better games. The Knicks jumped out to what was a 23-point lead.
I was
23.
discouraged. I was hurt, and I wanted to bet this game, but I waited too late. And you know how you wait until the grace period to where it's like, oh, this dude's just being an asshole. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that now. So I didn't. And then they got up 23, and I was like, oh, you know what? I might have done myself a solid. And then they called his own defense, and bam.
So here's what happened with the Knicks. They went up by 23. Trae Young was visibly frustrated, and he actually had a really bad night against the Knicks. 7 of 22, 2 of 7 from 3. I want to say he missed 8 straight shots in the first quarter, and he was pressing, and it looked bad.
The first quarter.
It looked bad. He missed 8 straight shots to end the first quarter, and it looked really, really bad. I mean, he was missing shots. He was missing layups. He was missing literally everything. And DeJounte Murray came up to Trae and said, just calm down. Like, I can tell that you're going crazy. Calm down right now, and we'll be all right. DeAndre Hunter, we shot like 23% in the first half.
It was terrible.
It was bad.
Awful.
But one thing that did happen at the end of the first half was DeJounte Murray got going.
He's a turnover machine.
DeJounte Murray got going, and Nate, we went in, and in the halftime, we made a defensive adjustment. We played zone coming out. We played zone, and we put DeJounte Murray at the top of the zone, at the top of the key. So it was kind of a zone, but it was really like a defensive boxing one, where it was like, okay, whoever is at the top of the key, DeJounte, you guard, and everybody else just rotate. And that's exactly what we did. And DeJounte Murray he was credited with 5 steals. He had 36 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 steals, and a block. And he shut down Brunson. Go ahead.
And Nate went to the zone actually in the first half, but it didn't work that great. But I think that he still saw something when he was like, this will work. So when he came back out with it in the second half, it was unstoppable. And of course, shout out to Tibbs not making a damn adjustment. So it just allowed, basically for a while, DeJounte Murray to just cause utter chaos. Every time they inbounded the ball, trying to do everything, he was just in the way. Jalen got in the way a little bit too. And Tibbs just let it happen. I can't believe it. He just let that unravel, considering his current situation with the Knicks. You just saw it happen, and everybody saw it. It wasn't very fast, and we missed a bunch of shots early, and then after a while, they just ran out of gas.
So while watching this game, I saw that the Knicks were hitting like every 3-pointer known to man in the first half, and I said, what do we always say? The law of averages is going to be pretty soon. It's going to work out. Unless they're going to shoot 80% from 3 for the game, at that point, you just tip your hat and say, okay. But they ended up, like you said, they didn't make any adjustments. When you have Isaiah Quickly with 16 rebounds and leading your team in rebounds, you know it's going to be a long day. Isaiah Quickly is their backup guard. I don't know what he plays, point guard or shooting guard, but he's a guard.
But they got to figure out, he's underutilizing Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin. And until
Obi Toppin was kicking our ass.
And then just took him out of the game. Thanks to Tibbs. We've been so fortunate, both for basketball and football, for people to just either be not available or to do dumb stuff. And Tibbs trying to coach himself from being fired.
Tibbs trying to get that buyout.
Go ahead, pay me. I'll go home, bro.
But so the Hawks. Then we ended up playing. Who did we play last night?
Pelicans.
The Pelicans. We ended up playing the Pelicans last night. And I'm gonna tell you this. We're gonna tell you our likes and dislikes about this whole week. Zion is just one of the most physically imposing people you can see on a basketball court. He is,
especially when the ref just let him. Go ahead, my bad. I'm mad.
I say don't hate now. He and the fact that he can elevate from outside of the paint and there's nothing you can do about it is the crazy part. There are a few layups where he would just turn around and jump. And I was like, well, damn, what you gonna do? I mean, what you gonna do with that? John Collins had his entire night was just straight up defending Zion or doing something. Clint Capella, vintage Clint game, 21 points, 19 rebounds, 4 blocks, one assist, 1 steal in 35 minutes. Actually outplayed Valanciunas a lot. DeAndre Hunter, got to give shots out to you. You only have 15 points, yes, but you did a hell of a job on BI Brandon Ingram. Played really, really well against Brandon Ingram. So all in all, I'm extremely, extremely happy that we won. We came back from 23 points down to beat the Knicks, and then we played really well against the Pelicans. And, of course, Trae Young started off hot. He was really, 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 really aggressive. 34 points, 10 assists, a block, 2 steals. Played really well. And we, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. We have had a Jalen Johnson sighting. Jalen Johnson in 15 minutes, 5 of 7, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and an assist, including a windmill dunk. He looks like he's settling into his role as well, man. What did you like about these last 5 games that we played?
The Raptors, they just destroyed us. It was embarrassing. Pascal, I think, will be out for like the next 2 weeks, though. So I know we play a difficult schedule, but if there's ways to win games right now, they are extremely valuable because I think that Toronto may struggle. Versus the Knicks, Tibbs gave us a game. He handed it to us. They were whooping our ass early. They completely mismanaged this game. This is one of the games that I think that will probably be one of the reasons that if he does get fired here, they will look back on. There's no reason they should have lost this game. He left Evan Fournier in way too long, who should have already been on the bench. I do think that he got his ticket to the bench after this game. That was just a bad one. Nate made a solid adjustment, and then Tibbs just doubled down on losing. The Pelicans game, a little tricky for me because we felt like we dominated the entire game until the last 5 minutes. Then we caved in natural Atlanta form. They came back. And then we ended up having to go into overtime. DeJounte bailed us out. He has consistently been the best player for this team. I completely understand why Trae wanted him instead of Kevin Huerter. No slight to Kevin Huerter.
Who's been balling.
So far, yes. Who's been playing his ass off. But DeJounte has got us 2 wins very early that we would not have won any other way. I do have some questions about how we end quarters. And if a player is hot, I think we should go to the hot hand. But we can get into that here now.
So I like that Nate always says kind of like the Brian Snicker move. It's really the sports management move. If you're a coach, you split your away games and you take care of home. When you do that, you will make the playoffs every year. If you split the away games and you win the majority of your games at home, you will make the playoffs every year, and you will be a contender every year. I feel like we're falling back into the same things that we talked about last year with the Hawks. Our defense is either pretty good or atrocious. Like there's no in between. Our 3-point shooting has not come around. Of course, we've lost 2 of our best 3-point shooters in free agency. Well, we traded one, and the other one left in free agency, and the third one is hurt. We are definitely missing Bogey. But here's what I really hate. And I saw a conspiracy theory on Twitter, and it's hard to disprove conspiracy theories. Somebody thinks that John Collins in the locker room, especially Trae Young, we brought this conspiracy theory up 2 years ago. There's something wrong there. Something wrong. Because Trae Young is so willing to pass the ball to Clint Capella at all times. And Clint Capella blows more layups than anybody. John Collins consistently shoots 50 to 75% from the field every time he gets out there on the court. And they are freezing him out. They are freezing John Collins out. He had 7 points last game. And he doesn't complain. He has definitely figured out how to
still finds a way to affect the game.
And that's right. He had different ways to impact the game. He's averaging more rebounds, which we both said that wasn't going to happen because DeJounte came over. Well, we were wrong. He's not averaging 12 rebounds instead of 8. He's averaging more blocks. He saved the game against the Pistons. He is one of the better weak side defending power forwards in the game this season right now. More steals, more assists. He's passing the ball to Clint more. He's doing everything correctly, and he's still shooting 40% from 3. And he's added a post game, even though he doesn't have a lot of post game. He has 2 post moves that he goes to: spin, face up, shoot the J, or go around you, and he's doing it more. And yet we don't give him the shot.
He played great defense. Now, there's not a whole lot that Clint and John Collins can do if the referee is going to let Valanciunas and Zion drop their elbow and shoulder into them every play on offense. So literally all that was happening. And I was like, at first, they were just murdering them. Drop the shoulder, knock them down. Valanciunas is a man. Zion is a man and a half. You can't even get mad at them for what the referees were doing. But eventually, Collins got a couple charges, got one early, got another one later. And he played good defense. Even when they were like passing Zion the ball, they were making it difficult on him. He turned the ball over probably 4 or 5 times in this game. Until the end. At the end, I think that he might have he got to a point where he was in wrecking ball form at that point. And wasn't anything you could really do at the end. But for 3.5 quarters, he played damn good defense. At the end, though, he was like, nah, I'm still Zion Williamson. I need to let the world know.
I'm still 280 pounds. Or 765.
Ain't nothing you can do with it except for call God. Because he hit one of them and kind of tiptoed and just tossed it. I was like, oh, damn, people going to be on my head about that one. But there's nothing you could do. He was just dropping his shoulder into John and Clint repeatedly.
They got it. And that's something that we said John has to do. But just speaking on offense, John is getting froze out, man. I mean, they are not looking for him. And this is the gift and the curse with Trae Young because he started out so hot against. I think he hit his first 3 3-pointers of the game, and one of them was a sidestep shot that he's been working on over the summer. And I said, "Oh, it's about to be a long night for y'all," but because he hits those shots, everybody else loses flow of the game. And I will say this: in the New York game. Now, John, it seems like when John has a bad game, we don't look for him the next game. John should have had 25 points against New York because they can't handle him. John against Toronto is always going to struggle against. John is going to struggle against Toronto at all times. There's not unless he hits threes the rest of the game, because Toronto literally is, if the 6'5" people have the arms of 7 feet people, and then everybody else is 6'8". So there's nothing you can do because John is a 6'8" 6'9" power forward with regular people arms.
Exactly. But that's the game where everybody, like, that's the thing about the team is you can't cook probably every night, but it's when it's your night to cook, you need to serve. That's it. It's very simple. So, and Trey's still having issues giving the reins up. You can see it. Because even with DeJounte, that's the reason I wanted to talk about the end of these quarters. DeJounte got us all the way back into this game. He's the one who hit the shot to tie it up. And then Trey just like, oh no, hand me the ball. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And it did not work. The first one he missed it. They turned it over. Then the second one was either the toss or the alley oop to Clint. But at that time, he should have gone to DeJounte. He brought us back. He had the hot hand. Don't divert from the hot hand.
Trey always diverts from the hot hand, though. I think
unless it's him.
I think Trey has to figure out, and we've been saying this, and they're not going to listen. He's got his money. You got to figure out, man. We struggle when you average 35 points. We struggle. We struggle when you average 35. Now, he had 34 and 10. And the thing is, it's like Russell Westbrook. You can't complain about a triple-double. You can't complain about 34 and 10. But John Collins is supposed to be our security blanket. John Collins is supposed to be the guy when we need a bucket and the game's going up too fast, moving up too fast. You know what? Give it to John on the block or run a play. Get him at the top of the key or at the corner. He likes top of the key threes, corner threes, and he likes being on the post. Those are his hot zones. So if you get them there, he is the one. He will always end a run. No matter what run it is that the other team is on, 8-0, 6-0, 10-0. If you give it to John at least a couple times, that run gonna end. It's gonna happen.
It stop your run at 6 versus letting it get to 10. Or my other one is when we go up 8, give him the very next shot. Let's get to 10, because you know there's a big difference between being up by 8 versus being up by 10. And the same thing with we down by 6. Next we got to go to John. Let's get a shot that we know we can make here. And sometimes we go for it, and then sometimes we diverge into a long 3-pointer, which is always putting us in a bad situation because it's a long rebound.
John this year
6 to 8, quick.
What is he averaging this year?
Probably about
real quick
13 points now.
He's averaging 13 points.
But look at it. He had 2 good games, and then it's like Nate has to do a better job of identifying the roles of this offense, and he's going to have to figure out how to do a better job of spacing these points.
Come on, man. John started out on a heater. Houston, 24 points. Orlando, 23 points. Then we went away from him against Charlotte, 10 points. Now, he did have a rough game against Charlotte. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds. He was 0 of 7 from three-point shot. He could not hit a shot against Charlotte.
He need to stop shooting so many damn three-pointers.
But then came right back against Detroit, 19 and 11. And then for some reason, we just stopped going to him. Detroit, the second game of the back-to-back, 4 points. Against Milwaukee, 4 points. Toronto, he got most of his points in garbage time because he was they keep making him shoot 6 3-pointers a game. 12 points.
If he's
New York, 12 points, and he's never had more than, of the games that he's only had more than 12 shots twice. He got 24 points and 20 points when he had more than 12 shots. And he's averaging 50%. And he's shooting 52% from the field. So if you give him the ball 16 times a game, if you just let him shoot 12 to 16 times a game minimum, he's going to hit 6 to 8 shots. Even if they're all twos, that's 12 to 16 points a game. Without even that's just without rebounds, that's without alley-oops, that's just running plays for John. I actually wouldn't even be mad with the shot amount if it stays at 10 to 12 a game. But you got to run the plays for him. Because he's going to get his 5 shots from getting rebounds. You got to run 10 plays for John Collins to just set it up. And Nate did say, hey, we missed John a few times in this game. Where the conspiracy theories got out. Because either Nate sees it and is not addressing it, or he's seeing it and he's addressing it and they're not listening. One or the other is happening. He seems like Nate is really, 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 really good. This is what Miss D is. Shout out to Miss D. She said it seems that Nate is really good at pointing out the flaws and really bad at fixing them.
That's a bar. That's
Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, and he's doing this. John is better suited for a 5 that can shoot.
No, John shouldn't
If
play
you
5.
go,
He shouldn't play.
no. You're missing what I'm saying. He's actually better suited with a 5 who can shoot the ball.
Oh,
too.
with a 5, a Miles Turner.
Yes. So he's actually constricting his game just to be more effective for the team. But if you really had a guy who could shoot, his game would be completely different.
Yeah, you can't double him. But it's the sacrifice, and we knew. And again, when DeJounte goes 36, 9, 6, and 4, hey, John, you gonna have to stick it. But John had 12 points and 13 rebounds because he's affecting the game in other ways.
Oh yeah.
But
And
you
he
gotta
played
run
good
plays
defense
for him.
until
You gotta run. And he plays good defense and he hustles.
Yeah.
Any other big man in the game, when they play defense, they rebound, they don't complain, and they hustle down the court and run. You reward the big man.
Yeah.
Why are we not rewarding John Collins? And you need to address this now, because we 6-3. You need, or 7-3, 6-3, 7-3. You need to address this now. Yeah, who do we play next? Let's get to the schedule.
Yeah, but my thing, definitely we got to figure out a way to get him involved more, and we got to figure out how to get to him 12 to 14 shots a game, or we're wasting him. And he's done so much better on defense. He's a good defender now.
He is. He's a really good outside defender.
And now this week is rough because we play on Monday. We play the Bucks. I don't know if Giannis is going to play in that game. I know he had a knee injury. On Wednesday, we play the Jazz,
who are first place in the West.
Yeah. We assume that the Jazz would not be good, but they are, in fact, very good. Lloyd Marketing is playing out of his mind.
First place in the West.
Now, this is another team, the 76ers, who we play on Thursday. I assume that, I know that James will be out. I don't know the status of Embiid. This is another game that we need to steal. And then we close out. Oh, we play Sixers back-to-back. We got to be able to beat them with no James Harden, period. But definitely, if we can get at least one of those games with no Embiid, this is you got to make the hay while the sun shines, especially if you're gonna play. The Bucks are starting the week out. Get your W's when you can. If we could get through this we should be able to beat the Jazz.
With everything
I know
they're
playing well, but team to team, we got to beat those guys. We got to
win
those games.
With all of these games that I see, John Collins is going to have to exert more energy on the defensive end than the offensive end. Against the Bucks, he's either going to have to guard Giannis, or Giannis is going to be hurt, and he's going to have to guard Bobby Portis. And Bobby Portis is old man strong. Now, John, you need to out-athleticize Bobby Portis. You ain't going to out-athleticize Giannis. But if it's Bobby Portis and not Giannis, John, you need to run as fast as you can and jump as high as you can, because nobody else can guard you on that team but Giannis. Nobody.
See, I look at that game differently. Just take your L in that game. That's not the best matchup for you. But in that game, the guard should win. Specifically, whoever isn't getting guarded by Holiday. Whoever that guy is, he should have a very big night. Very simple. That's where our mismatch is. You torch that other guy, and you have a great night. John, get your 10 and 10, and we go on home. That's what I'm more interested in. Now, Utah, you should make it difficult on Lloyd Marketing.
I about to say Lloyd Marketing ain't no hoe now.
Yeah. Now, Laurie offensively has played very well. But best thing that you can do for a guy who's playing good on offense is what? Make him play a lot of defense. If you tire him out and you have an effective game against them, that's your game to have your influence. You already know Sexton is going to be who he is.
He's going to give Trey problems. He's going to give Trey problems. Trey got to learn how to play off the ball, man. You can't get mad and say, give me the ball as my team. Like, nah. And in Philly, you got to Philly, you can't
say that right now because it's DeJounte's team. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say this DeJounte's team, but everybody is looking around like.
Well, no, because Trey's still giving you. Trey's leading the league in assists again. Like,
hey, that's all well and good, but in 2 games, we've needed one guy to get us to win the game. When the rubber met the road, it was DeJounte both times, and there's not. You can say, hey, this is your team. You've been here for a long time. I'm here now. There have been 2 incidences. I fixed it both times.
I will say, it seems like their roles are defining themselves between Trey and DeJounte.
Yep.
So Trey is the fire starter. Trey will normally come out and look for his shot in the first 2 to 3 quarters, and DeJounte is more let the game come to him. I'm going to affect the game defensively, and nobody can keep me out of the paint. And if he ever gets his mid-range game to,
which he working on every game, you see him shoot it, and you're like, don't shoot it. And now I'm like, don't shoot it, but I need you to kind of learn how to shoot it.
And now, but he's got this, so he's working on his mid-range. And DeJounte lets the game come to him, but he is starting to pick his spots when he sees that Trey is out of sorts, or if he sees the team is fading a little bit, we give him the ball. And John Collins already has a better rapport with him than he does with Trey. Already. He looks for John Collins.
And he just has the ability. That's the reason I'm not as mad about Trey wanting Herter to go. Because as good as Herter is,
Too passive. Too scary.
Yes. DeJounte is a defibrillator. We look like we're on life support. He hop right out there. Boom, boom. And then we go right to it. And they be like, oh, no, we can win. Hey, Trey.
5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 10 points. He'd be like, dang, what did that happen?
But he does way more stuff than just score points. He's like, nah, I get some rebounds. I'll play some defense, see if we can get some turnovers. He just finds another way to affect the game while still playing offense at the same time. And I think that, I mean, you're going to look at that differently. That's hustle. That's not just, hey, give me the ball, I'll fix it. It's not, I'll help us all fix it type of thing. And he kept pestering the Knicks. He was like, nah, give me that again.
He had Jalen Brunson and Quickly
fluster.
Just totally upset at each other. They were just mad at nobody else but themselves. He ripped Jalen Brunson like a high schooler ripped a JV player. Like he and DeJounte talks about, I study the game a lot. I watch a whole lot of film. And you can tell he does, because no matter what the Knicks were doing, he was right there. Swipe up, post, swipe, post.
Pest.
And he's a pest.
As good as DeAndre Hunter is on defense, this is what people were looking for, is this part of the defense, which
100%.
is sometimes going to get you beat, and it's going to let CJ McCollum, like, because don't forget now, as good as he played against the Pelicans, CJ McCollum was tearing that ass up. He was giving it to him.
Dude, DeJounte? Yeah, CJ's streaky though. Once CJ hit 4, like 2 or 3, and then he come down. Once he came down and hit that 3 on the fast break 1-on-4, I said, "Ooh, y'all better call timeout, because they about to come back." Because we were up by 13 with 5 minutes left in the game, and they tied it and sent it to overtime. And Trey, the thing I don't like about Trey is when something goes wrong, he always looks at somebody else. It's starting to have like the LeBron type thing. You know, LeBron doesn't do something right, he turns around like that, and it's like, bro, it was you. You were the one that was supposed to be there, and you weren't. And I'm starting to see that from Trey a little bit. I'm a little nervous about that. That's the only thing. I'm a little nervous.
I don't think that he can do that because, and I want to say it was the last game where he fell or something, and he was just down, and they played 4-on-5.
Trey?
Trey stayed on one end of the court.
That's when he hurt his. That's when he hurt. When he hurt his eye.
No, but the eye was already hurt. No. It was the very last game where he just laid down there and he didn't get up, and they got the defense. I mean, they got the ball back and came back down. He just stood up like he was okay. Like, I wonder if, once we get back to the huddle, I have to say something about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Trey,
you let us play all this defense by ourselves, And then as soon as we get the ball, now you can stand up and you're ready to play.
Yeah, as a leader,
we got to at least have a conversation about that.
That's what it is. Trey isn't a leader. Trey's not a leader. He's a really good player. He's a really good basketball player. Trey has to perfect his leadership skills. DeJounte is a leader. From what I've seen, DeJounte is a leader. He his presence commands respect. Where Trey's more like a little kid. And I don't want to call him immature. He's the first, but Trey's persona is that of a little kid. Where DeJounte's is that of a I'm gonna figure it out type thing. You know what I mean? And I just need Trey to grow up. I need Trey to grow up.
And it works for Trey if you can give him the ball and he can just go nuclear and fix it. Then you're like, you know what? Well, the leadership really ain't there, but hell, you got the W, so that's all that matters. DeJounte is like, oh, okay, all right, well, I'll just play a bunch of defense and I'll try to turn the ball over so then we can, cut the lead.
I just and we're coming to the end of the episode, so we're gonna cut it off here in a little bit. But I will leave y'all with this. I really need Trey. We said it last year. We said it before. 25 and 15 will get us 10 to 15 more wins than 35 and 10 or 35 and 8. Because 35 and 8 means somebody else, our third best player on the court, possibly our fourth, John Collins, is not getting the shots. Because DeAndre Hunter is now aggressive. DeAndre is taking it. He is the one, he is the one that is going to the basket and trying to hit his mid-range. He's figured out his post game a little bit when he has a smaller defender on him. He's been working with Hoodie Mello. So he's going to shoot regardless. John, they're not even giving him the ball. And the thing is, Trey is also a little, I sound like you today. Trey is a little bit of, when I say he's immature, because he'll do the thing that Kobe used to do when Kobe was on terrible teams. Kobe used to be toxic when he was on terrible teams, RIP. But, Kobe would just not shoot for the whole first quarter, right? Kobe, you need to pass the ball. All right. And he'll just pass the ball for the whole. No, don't do that. We need you to just play the game and get everybody else involved. And if you do, we are one of the more difficult teams to beat after we trade Justin Holiday.
He snuck that in at the end. Yeah, I
he can go.
I think that if he ever embraced being the master facilitator instead of being the master scorer,
number one point guard in the game. Number one point guard in the game. Nothing you can do about it either. Nothing.
But as long as he wants to have the most points every game, he's fighting himself. And I don't think, but that's one of the things that only comes with time. I don't think that anybody can tell him that as much. I'm sure Nate has probably told him that a million times. Because 25 and 15 would not be unreasonable to him.
It's easy. It's easy. That's what's crazy.
Nuts.
That's insane. 25 and 15 was what he should average. 25 and 12 is what Trey should average. And it's easy for him. It's easy for him. Because him going 34 and 14 or whatever he had wasn't that difficult.
If he ever doubled down and thought to himself that I will shoot easier shots if everybody else scored more points, he's the best point guard in the NBA.
Oh.
By a long stretch.
And you can't even say this last game was on Nate offense. Nate not coaching the offense. They were running plays against the Pelicans. Back screens, DeAndre cutting to the basket. They finally figured out a way to get Jalen to start cutting to the basket, giving him the ability to pump fake and drive. He had like 3 dunks that were really, really good.
Well, that's also, once again, that's DeJounte. DeJounte let him bring the ball up the court. And if only just to bring the ball up the court to pass him the ball, you're getting him used to
putting him in movement.
His steps right. Exactly. And I'm telling you, he can pass the damn ball.
Yeah, he made one pass on that behind the back joint. I was like,
and he's making passes right now like I can't afford to make a mistake. If he ever gets an opportunity to play basketball and just play basketball, he is going to be. and he's completely different than John Collins. Let's be very clear about that. I don't like him standing in the corner shooting those threes. I'd much rather him pump fake and go try to get a dough dunk every time. Well, I would like John to do that too. I'm not as good as the bigs may be able to shoot. Pump fake, go to the basket, shoot the free throws every time. All of you guys are athletes, real athletes. Make them foul you, shoot the free throws. Make it easy on yourself. Us shooting these threes, sometimes I feel like it's a bailout to a lot of teams. And the only person who I really feel confident even shooting that shot is John Collins. And I still don't want him shooting. Dunk the ball.
DeAndre has proven that he can hit the open three.
Oh, yeah. I
DeAndre
don't know, but he's
threes.
a wing, not a big to me. I'm talking bigs, not wings.
Oh, bigs.
DeAndre,
Yeah.
If you're open, you shoot it. You better
100%.
make it, but shoot it.
100%.
That
ladies.
was more for Jalen and John Collins. Just pump, fake, and dunk.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the ATL edition of the Splash Cast. I don't think we have any Braves news. The Braves they made a minor trade today, signing a 28-year-old from Colorado. I don't know what that means. I am scared when it comes to that because that I only want to hear about Dansby Swanson being re-signed if I'm the Braves. When you make other moves like that,
we want to know.
Outfielders and stuff,
makes
me
yep,
nervous.
Sounds like Matt Olson.
Yeah, it makes me nervous. So, with that being said, Nord, if we didn't miss anything, take us out.
Wait. Ronald Acuna, NL Comeback Player of the Year.
Shout out, Ronnie, NL Comeback Player of the Year. You are correct.
Yeah.
He probably will be Comeback Player of the Year next year because he played this whole year hurt. So, came back too early.
Return of the Mac.
Came back too early, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Ronnie. He did play the whole season hurt, which is also terrible. Man, please heal up. We need you for the future, the whole entire future.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Braves, hey, stop trading people. Pay Dansby Swanson. Don't do anything. And do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Y'all need to chill out. With that said, we have not missed anything. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, to like, follow, subscribe. We back. We got back into the Instagrammy. Can we go to the schedule, please?
So what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, go to your Instagram, type in the Splash Cast. When you go to Splash Cast, you will see something called the link tree. When you click the link tree, it takes you to this page right here where you can find us on. Where can they find us, Norwood?
YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Instagram. That's Twitter. You can find us on Twitch, where we always go live, specifically tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. You can also see my handsome face as we go live right here, right now. Below that is the TikTok. Then we have the episode 76 playlist. I'm working on episode 77. Shout out to 21 Savage and Drake putting out a fantastic album. You got the Homecoming Hangover extra playlist, the Twitter where we tweet everything. Me and Reggie constantly talking about whatever is relevant in sports, and specifically during our time and our games, you can get live reactions of how upset we are that Desmond Ridder is not our quarterback yet. The Splashcast playlist home, and of course,
and
everything else Splash. Anchor for the podcasters. With that said, we've had a fantastic Monday night. Y'all have gotten our reactions after watching the Hawks play last night. The Falcons play tonight in disappointing fashion. We do hope to get a W next week. With that said, always remember number one, more black baseball. Speaking of black baseball, shout out to Dusty Baker winning a championship as a manager. The rest of the asterisks, you know how we feel. Number two, more black cowboys and more black cowgirls. Number three, the historically black college and university that you graduated from, your cousin graduated from, your mother graduated from. Send some money over there. The historically black college and university in the neighborhood that you live in, the one that you go to homecoming, you show up on the yard, miscellaneous step shows, or just to have a good time. Send some money over there. And if you're not going over there, then you should be doing that as well. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the one that handed me a degree and Reggie a degree, the Hampton University. Donate at least $18.68 on behalf of the Splashcast. Please support your neighborhood and all of your historically Black colleges and universities. We've covered everything, and it's only one thing for me and Ray to do now. What's that, my guy? Hang out.
Love
we
y'all,
out this
man.
joint. We will be back tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, and Raw will be on Monday. And I said that.
Y'all be safe. We out of here after that. Bye.
Go buy a zip of weed, hit the club, pay for about 10 niggas to get in. We crunk, lit, any bitch. Yeah.
No, we walk around the world, stepping out, giving a damn by where our feet land at. Yeah. Get your ass mushed, smushed. Yeah, 21. The biggest. Put a nigga in the chicken wing. Pussy.
21, can you do something for me?
21.
Can you hit a little rich flex for me?
21.
Then 21, can you do something for me?
21.
Drop some bars to my pussy ex for me. Then 21,
21.
can you do something for me? Can you talk to the ops next for me?
Okay.
21, do your thing. 21, do your thing.
21.
Do your thing. 21, do
Yellow
your
diamonds
thing.
in the watch. This shit costs a lot. Never send a bitch or die. That's how you get shot. I DM in vanish mode. I do that shit a lot. Took her panties off and this bitch thicker than a plot. All my S's ain't nothing. Them hoes busted. If my ops ain't rapping, they ass ducking. You ain't ready to pull the trigger. Don't clutch it. I know you on your period, baby. Can you suck it? I'm a savage. 21. Smacker, booty, and magic.